I have proof in my life where things were mega hard and difficult, and later on, looking back, I saw it as a gift. I saw it as a gift with a bow on the bottom, where you can't see the gift right there and then, but later on you look back and you're like, wow, that was for my highest and best good.
2, 1, 0.
Hello and welcome to Stellar Life Podcast. I'm going to be hosting today. I'm Stephan Spencer. I am the husband of this beautiful and amazing, talented, brilliant Orion Talmay, who's the host of this show, Stellar Life. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about miracles and how they can show up in everyday life.
Yes, well, thank you, my love. This is my husband, Stephan Spencer. Stephan is an incredible human being. He's kind, he's sweet, he's loving, and he's very brilliant. He's the co-author of The Art of SEO and the author of Google Power Search. But he's beyond the technical genius side of him. He's been on this incredible journey over the last decade, but especially over the last few years of evolving spiritually. I used to be the crazy woo-woo one with the pendulum, but you surpassed me now. Yeah, I'm very grateful to have him here and have him in my life. It's really like I won the lottery with you, Billy.
So did I. So
Yes.
let's explain to our listener what a miracle is and what it's not. So there's this expression, I don't know where it came from. Maybe it just came from above and I was just kind of tuning into my intuition. I don't know where it came from, but either everything's a miracle or nothing's a miracle.
Okay. How so?
Well, if everything's a miracle, then little things like a butterfly catching your eye or a number on a mailbox that catches your eye or something that you just intuitively think of out of the blue, it's all divinely guided. It's all miraculous. It's all designed to help you on your journey. Whereas if nothing's a miracle, then you're a diehard materialist, and if it can't be scientifically validated, it's not real. So, if you could also take this idea of everything's a miracle or nothing's a miracle and apply it to things like signs. Either everything's a sign or nothing's a sign. Or you could apply it to just randomness. Either nothing's random or everything's random.
But that's so black and white. It's all or nothing. It's like if everything is not random or everything is a miracle, it's sometimes it can be not adding a little pressure, no? Like, oh, every number I see is a sign, or every breath I take is, or every movement I make is a miracle. Everything that I see is a miracle. Isn't it a little too overwhelming?
I don't know. I mean, isn't one of the core precepts in Judaism that everything's a blessing? And whether it's defined for you as a revealed blessing or an unrevealed blessing is how you discern it.
So it's all about believe. I guess it comes from connecting and believing in God and the Creator that is leading your life. Because if the Creator is leading your life, then everything is a miracle. And if not, then some things are and some things not, and sometimes you are connected and sometimes you're not. So what can we do you think, what do you do to improve your connection with the Creator and see things more as a miracle?
Well, I do my morning connection, and one of the things that helps me to frame my day is to have the intention to live my life like a prayer. Everything in my life as part of my prayer.
Even when we fight?
Yeah.
How so?
Because I need to restrict. I need to see that it's coming from God and not just from you. You're like his instrument, his mouthpiece, and it's tough love that I'm receiving at that moment because I'm supposed to.
Okay, I like that. That makes me very special. Like even when I'm angry, I'm just a channel of God. Yay.
So, what comes to your mind when you're thinking of everything being a blessing and whether it's revealed or unrevealed?
Yeah, what comes to mind is that I have proof in my life where things were mega hard and difficult, and later on, looking back, I saw it as a gift. I saw it as a gift with a bow on the bottom, where you can't see the gift right there and then, but later on you look back and you're like, wow, that was for my highest and best good. If I didn't have this painful event, I wouldn't arrive where I am today. I like that. It's just that, they say that awakening is not you don't just get awakened and that's it. There are many levels of awakening, and it's not a straight line. Some days we are very connected, some days we are not connected. And in the days where I'm not connected, I don't see things as miracles. I see it as suffering, and sometimes I go into a little bit of a victim mode, and why me? And sometimes there are hormones and emotions that get involved in the mix. So it's an ongoing thing to review things as a gift and as a miracle, and trust. I guess the core is how to trust the journey.
And trust God.
Yeah.
So you're trusting that He's guiding you through this journey, and it's not just random. And everything you're experiencing is for your highest and best good.
Right. And sometimes, it cognitively, you're like, okay, I'm on the spiritual journey, everything is a gift, blah, 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 but I feel bad right now. I don't feel connected right now. And what I know from what I teach is not to deny your emotion and put it aside because everything is a miracle and we're all spiritual right now. Our emotions are valid, and it's very important not to put them down, even when it is for the purpose of remaining on a spiritual path. I think it's also spiritual to feel our emotions and feel our sadness and feel our anger and feel everything, because they can be our compass.
Compass. Yeah.
Compass, thanks. They can be our guide. Our emotions can be our guide, and we have them for a reason. When we deny our emotions is where we get in trouble, is where we push things down, and they can surface later on in life as a disease or a problem in a relationship. It just what is not being dealt with in the moment can be surfaced even a decade later as something that can sabotage our lives. So we both went to India together, and the monk said, "Let the tiger devour you. Just don't stay there very long." So you let the tiger devour you. You let the emotions take over. You feel it, but you don't stay there for more than 10 minutes. And for me, the practice is, and I think I've done a really good job of it throughout the years, and it's a practice. It's like going to the gym. It's a muscle that you need to train, is to feel the emotions, but not to stay there for too long. So maybe you stay in one emotion for a week, but then you get better, and it's just a few days, or maybe it's 24 hours, maybe it's an hour. The monks said 10 minutes. It would be nice to just stay in a negative emotion for only 10 minutes. But it's a journey, and sometimes I stay there longer, sometimes I stay there shorter. But I feel the more I practice, the more tools I have, and I have a lot of tools. I don't stay there for too long. Like you saw changes in me throughout the years, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
What do you see?
You're less reactive.
Yes.
And more proactive. You're more connected. You're more in the miracles and less in the minutia.
Minutia.
Yeah,
What's minutia?
the trivial things that don't really matter at the end of the day.
Hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Something that would bother you 3 or 4 years ago that you would make a meaning about, that somebody was personally attacking you or belittling you or marginalizing you. You let it roll off your back like water off a duck's back.
I like that. Thanks. That's nice. Because being in the process, sometimes I don't see myself, and I do give myself a hard time for not being able to sometimes act a little better or say a little better, and then I get stuck in guilt, and guilt is a big part of the ego as well. Sometimes we make ourselves feel bad to perceive ourselves as better human beings. I'm also trying to get rid of the guilt, and just I guess it's a journey of self acceptance. I am who I am. I'm doing my best, and every day I'm doing just a little bit better. And that's the journey. And the journey never ends, and there is never a destination. You never reach a summit, because as soon as you reach a summit, there is another one, another one, another one.
Mm-hmm. How do you differentiate guilt from shame? And how do you address either or both of them?
Guilt from shame. I don't. They're both the same for me.
Well, I remember somebody, I forget who, defined it as guilt is I did something bad, whereas shame is I am bad. Something along those lines.
I think for me it goes to I am bad.
Just straight there, huh?
Straight there. Because in Hebrew there is one word for that, ashma. We don't have guilt and shame. So I guess for me, if I look at the dictionary, ashma is guilt or shame. So I never made the difference. But for me, it's just like, I'm a bad person, I'm a bad mom, I'm a bad wife, I'm a bad friend, I'm a bad daughter. That's where it goes to. Yeah, so it's immediately, I'm so bad. I'm not that bad, though.
So that's not good for your soul, right?
I know, and that's why I'm working on it. It's bad for my soul.
So what would be a practical exercise you could give our listener right now that would help her or him to stop beating themselves up?
Just stop it. Just stop doing that. As soon as you, I guess it's awareness.
You know, when you said just stop it, I thought of that Bob Newhart skit where the lady's afraid of being buried in a box. And he just yells at her, just stop it. He's supposed to be this amazing psychologist or something, therapist, and
Stop it.
his advice is just stop it. We'll have to include the clip in the show notes.
Yes.
It's really funny.
Yes, it actually is just stop it. As soon as you have, and also it's in hypnosis too. When I do hypnosis with my clients, it's about going back to childhood and getting very important times in their lives where they formed a belief. But as soon as they see the belief, information is power. And as soon as you know what's preventing you from moving forward, you can fix it. Awareness is the first key. So if you're somebody like me that take on I am bad and take on a lot of guilt and shame, actually not as me, as the person that I used to be, because I'm working on it, I'm work in progress, but I'm doing much better because I have the awareness. And when I saw that I am in guilt, I just remind myself that it doesn't serve anyone. It doesn't serve me to be a good mother if I'm in guilt all the time. So self-forgiveness is very important, and you can do it instantly in the moment. Okay, I did that, not proud of it, not going to do it again, going to create a new commitment with myself not to do it again. How can I get better? Because guilt is a way to run away from the solution. Oh, I'm guilty, let's focus on shame and guilt instead of let's focus on how to correct this. How can I make this better? How can I elevate? if everything is a gift and everything is a miracle, then this moment of guilt was a gift and a miracle for me to elevate, and it is my choice to take this information and do something about it.
And so if somebody is listening to this and they're racked by guilt, what would you say is the first thing that they would start to do? Are they going to...
If they identify with that guilt, then yeah, awareness will be the first step. And then to sit and maybe write or just think about how can I be better and focus on what you want rather than focusing on what you don't want.
Right, because the law of attraction is focused on the thing that you're focused on. If it's good or bad, you're going to amplify it either way. So if you don't want negative self-talk and you keep focusing on how you want that to go away, you're still amplifying the negative self-talk by being aware of it.
Yes.
Right. So how does this then tie into manifesting miracles? So now you're working on being less guilty, less shameful, less self-critical. How does that then jump to the next positive thing of being in a place of miraculous manifestation?
When I do hypnotherapy, it's you always focus on one thing. You focus on either I want to quit smoking, or I want to stop having a phobia of something, or I want to heal my relationship with my partners, or the way I, whatever it is. But you always work on one thing, because our subconscious mind is you always need to work on one thing. You can't work on 10 things at once. So it's the same. If your mind and your subconscious mind is dealing with guilt and shame and negativity, how can you focus on miracles? It's exactly what we said. If you want to focus on miracles, then you need to focus on miracles. If the focus is on guilt, shame, pain, anger, suffering, and you're just stuck in that loop, you are preventing a miracle in your life. And you are not a vibrational match to a miracle in your life.
So what's that expression or old adage that if you believe you can or you believe you can't, either way you're right?
Yeah, Henry Ford said that.
Henry Ford, yeah.
Whether you believe you can or you believe you can't, you are right.
So if you believe that a miracle will manifest or you believe that no miracles will manifest, you're right.
Yeah, you usually see the world as a video game, right?
I do, like it's a, yeah, or a movie.
Or a movie, yeah.
Yeah, so I see everyone as playing a part, like they're either an extra or a supporting actor or actress, and I'm Truman in the Truman Show, so I don't make myself out to be this super important actor, like I'm Tom Cruise and there's no room for another big role if Tom Cruise is in the movie. No, I see myself as kind of, I'm the unwitting main player in this video game or this movie because I happen to be the observer.
That is very connected to what they discover in quantum physics. Because when you see an item, it's there, but there is nobody to see it, and it's not there.
Yeah.
It's like the saying, if a
tree falls in the forest?
Yes.
Yeah. Did it make a sound if it fell in the forest and no one could hear it?
But it's exactly it.
Yeah. So the answer that I learned, which I didn't know until adulthood, is that the answer is no. It didn't make a sound because there was no ear to hear it. Mm-hmm. The vibration gets translated into sound by having an ear to hear it, an observer. So it's still a vibration until it gets converted into a sound. Mm-hmm. So if you take everything like it's a vibration, whether it's a thought or a feeling or a word, and kind of go behind the scenes, pull back the curtain, and you see there's vibration everywhere. That's like seeing the code in the Matrix. Like Neo could see the green code, and everything's a vibration. So you say a phrase like, oh my God, instead of oh my goodness. And I was corrected on that before multiple times from above, like stop saying that, that's disrespectful. So I've stopped. And if I think about what's the vibration behind that expression, it's not respectful. It's more of, it's an exclamation, but it's not reverent. And if I am self-critical, saying something negative about myself or my skills or abilities or experience or whatever, that's again a lower vibration. So I'm careful with my words, I'm careful with my actions, and I'm careful with my thoughts.
In the world of being so careful with everything,
Well, okay, so careful.
It sounds like
Walking on eggshells?
yes.
No, it's not like that. I'm
Yes.
mindful. I used the wrong word. So see, there's an example right there. I said the wrong word. Careful has a vibration.
Yes.
And that vibration is a walking on eggshells kind of vibration.
Yeah,
Mindful.
for me, I'm like a freedom-seeking butterfly. So when you say careful, I'm just like, that doesn't feel good in my body, being too careful.
Yeah,
Yes, we need to be mindful. We need to protect ourselves, but living in a situation where everything is I have to be careful of what I say, what I see, how I speak,
Exactly,
the words that
so
I
I'm
say.
not.
It's a little like, the more I say that, I feel a little tension in my chest.
But see, this is exactly how you get the lesson. Right? So you teach me this stuff all the time.
You're
you give me
welcome.
all sorts of tough love about my ego and arrogance and things like that. So
And you teach me too. Yeah, I have my own stuff that you help me with.
thank you. And so it's like, okay, careful isn't the right word.
Right.
You know, this is something that you corrected me on months ago when we were parenting on something, and you said, don't tell him to be careful. Like that'll give him some
phobia.
Like it'll make him nervous.
Oh, you used to
and
say
create anxiety.
Oh, you say everything is a test. I'm like, oh my God, I don't like tests. If I live in a world where everything is a test, oh my goodness, I would be so. It just feels like paralysis.
Feels stifling.
Stifling. Yes.
Yeah. So for me, I don't feel that way. I see it as an opportunity to grow. Like either you're winning or you're learning. You're not winning or losing. You're winning or you're learning.
If you call it a game, for my Aries personality, if you call it a game, I like it because I like games. Or if you call it an adventure, that resonates with me completely. Like this is an adventure. Even if we're going like Indiana Jones, and we have to, watch the bad mummies or whatever is happening there. It's more fun because there is, it's alive. But the words like careful or a test, for me, it's, can't.
Okay, so one video game term that I personally like is Easter eggs.
Okay.
So an Easter egg is something where you get extra lives or you get up-leveled in skills or powers, or you get some extra potion or magical, I don't know, weapon or something like that, because you somehow figured out where something was hiding that was not obvious.
Right.
It's buried in the game by the game developers, and it's just sitting there like a little buried treasure for the person who stumbles on it or somehow figures it out. Mm-hmm. So Ready Player One, which is a movie we both saw.
We loved.
Yeah, I love that movie. I loved the book even more. I listened to the entire audiobook, which was, I don't know,
Without
probably...
me?
It was a long time ago. Now I listen to audiobooks with you, but it was like 15, 20 hours or something. It was a lot of commitment to listen to that whole thing, and it was amazing. It was so much better than the movie.
A lot of time books are so much better because it allows you to activate your imagination, and there are so many details in a book that they can't do in a short movie. I understand that.
Yeah, yeah. So they have to leave a ton of stuff out, and the details matter.
Yes.
One audiobook that we both listened to together was The Alchemist. Yes, I loved that and got so many powerful lessons. And imagine how much would have to be left out for a movie
Right.
about The Alchemist. So
Yeah.
anyways.
And who's the person that narrates it? It's really good.
Jeremy Irons.
So good.
Yeah,
Seriously, that's a great audiobook.
Yeah.
It's nicer to listen and see, like, that's interesting because I enjoyed listening to it more than reading it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jeremy Irons is an incredible actor, and what a gift to be able to have landed him as the narrator for it, rather than just a regular audiobook narrator.
And that book was a miracle too, because he wrote it in 2 weeks, and
Yes. It sold 150 million copies, and it was written in 2 weeks.
my goodness. I'm trying to write my book for the last decade. Ugh. So how do we move like me? Like I want to, how do I connect to, you think, to that level of miracle where I can write my book in 2 weeks? Like how do you even connect to that level of inspiration? It's like some things in my life happen in a very miraculous way. Really, really like I'm on the fast lane and things just happen. And some things I'm just like dragging my feet so long and it's not moving forward. Is it divine intervention where God doesn't want me to do it right here, right now because the knowledge is not complete? Or is it just because I'm not aligned with the miracle?
If I had to guess, I would say it's the latter. And we have a lot of baggage that we bring to things.
No, I know.
So let's say that, for example, with the children's book I'm working on, I have some baggage around, I don't have the skills, I don't have the experience to write a children's book. I don't know how to make it simple yet profound and fun for a young child and a young spirit. It's like I could talk myself out of this children's book if I wanted to.
You know, I'm telling our son stories every night about a certain character, and I need to record them because there's some of them are really good, and they come to me when we both are so tired, and I have no idea what the topic is going to be. So I either take something that he's going through and it's hard for him, so I tell a story about that, so he will get the lessons through the story, or I'm just like, okay, so what are we gonna do? She went, and then either he gives me the topics, or something happens. I say something, and we just take it from there and allow creativity. And creativity is that the right side of our brain that is a channel for divine wisdom. This is creation. Every artist, and when they're in the zone, are in creation mode. Creation comes from the word creator. So I think when you're in that state of in between, and you are very analytic, you have a very strong, like, this is a very it's great. It helps you with everything that you do, and in order to get into being in a creation mode, sometimes you have to just tell your brain, stop it. Just stop it, because you're overthinking it. And if you just open, especially at that time of meditation or before sleep, or ask it to come to you in a dream, the right answers or the right next steps, and allow creation to flow through you, then there is nothing for you to know, because creation has all the knowledge. Creation knows everything. It's just about connecting that channel.
Yeah, you're just a channel for the infinite. And so if your ego's involved, you block it.
Yeah.
If you're...
How can I make it so it's going to be the most brilliant, the most sharp, the most this, the most that? Maybe it does not need to be the most brilliant. And sometimes the most brilliant things are the most basic things, when they are not overanalyzed, when they are spoken in a very simple way. Sometimes the deepest truth is in a sentence that is so simple. Whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you're probably right. Simple. Sometimes just you can say so much in a few words.
Right. And so you realize you're coaching yourself right now too, not just me.
I know.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know. Okay, yes, sure.
So something that...
It's so easy to coach somebody else. It's so much easier.
Yeah, well, we learned this from Donnie Epstein, that either
love
you're
Donnie Epstein.
Internal or you're external. And if you're
Tell them
external,
about Donnie Epstein. They need to know about it.
Okay, so he's an energy...
Wizard,
sure. A healer, worker, whatever. And what he's created is a modality or method for awakening your Kundalini energy and getting the spine to create this wave, and you can actually see it in the person.
Yeah, you can see
I've seen it in your spine where it's just a wave flowing through your spine.
It actually looks like a snake underneath my skin on my spine.
It's wild. I'd never seen that before, and so...
I'm actually an alien. Yeah.
But he's done this for many, many people. He's created something called Network Chiropractic, and it's all over the world. He has all these practitioners who practice it, who have their clients, their patients that are getting these entrainments, and they're energetic and not so much physical adjustments.
Yeah, and our son got this first entrainment when he was 6 months old.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah, he's
so cute.
Some of the entrainments I've gotten in Israel from one of his practitioners, who's in Tel Aviv and Jerusalem.
Yeah, Dr. Dreamer.
Dr. Dreamer.
Or Derimer.
Yeah, Yitzhak Derimer.
Mm-hmm.
But he goes by Dr. Dreamer. Amazing. And he learned his craft from Donnie Epstein.
Yes.
Donnie was a guest on your show, right?
He was a guest on my show. I'm pretty sure. Yes.
And he was a guest on mine on Get Yourself Optimized.
Yeah, we're very lucky to know Donnie personally. Donnie's he's a big leader in his field. He's kind of like the Tony Robbins of the chiropractic / healing world. So I'm very
and he's
grateful.
friends with Tony.
Yes.
And
he helps Tony before he goes on stage.
Yeah. He's going to do like a 12-hour stint. Tony's like very focused on having the right people around him to support him through that.
The first time I saw Donnie train Stephan was so wild. It was freaky. It looked like Stephan had like this demon goes in. Like his face was like all twisted, and his spine was erected, and
well, that might scare our listener.
Yeah, be scared. No, but I'm going to link on the show notes a little documentary about what he does. Watch it until the end, and you're gonna kind of get it. It's beyond anything that if you're not familiar with this type of work or Kundalini awakening work, it's wild to see. And from personal experience, I can say that we both are better people because of the way he opened us to it. It's almost like he's help you exchange versions or make you a more of an open channel to the light.
Yeah. So what I experienced that time is that I looked unrecognizable in my face and stuff. It was it's a
called Tephany.
Yeah. I don't know the modality. It's not a modality. It's like a something. Anyway, so it's a weird
physiological
reaction.
Yeah, physiological reaction to the energy that makes your face and maybe you get some tightness in your hands and.
Yeah, so you can get it in your face, you get it in your hands.
A lot of people get Tephany after deep breath work.
Yeah, so the hyperventilating, like lion's breath kind of energy thing, the exercise where you go.
Yeah, and any rebirthing or intense breath work can create that.
Yeah, so what's rebirthing for a listener who doesn't know that?
Some people call it rebirthing. It's just an hour of an hour long or 2 hour longs of breathing, and when you get so oxygenated, you activate the DMT or the God molecule in your brain, and you're actually, it's almost like tripping without taking acid or hallucinogenics. You just go into different realms. You see more into different realms, different realities. Once when I was rebirthing, I went back to a time where I was in the it's not an incubator. What do you call it?
Nursery.
In the nursery. Yes, because I was born premature.
So that would be the NICO,
Yeah,
neonatal ICU.
right. Yes.
Yeah.
And I had a vision being there that was incredible and very, very healing for me. Every time I do rebirthing, it's like most of the time, it's very healing. So yeah, this is what it is. You can just Google it. There's a lot of YouTubes and a lot of practitioners. Just do me a favor. I spoke about it in previous solo episode. Go to somebody you know, like, and trust, and has a lot of experience with that. Because if somebody does not know how to hold space, it's not that great. You just have to, with any work like that, you want to put yourself in good hands. Just like you want to go to the best doctor. So you want to go to the best doctor for your soul or your spirit.
So getting back to this idea of you are coaching yourself on how to release those blockages around your own book. So for me,
I just don't have time.
yeah, you do.
Don't have time.
So I have this belief system that I have to dismantle around being not good enough to write a children's book because I don't have the experience because.
Well, if you take the I from it and you just connect to the I am, which is God, then that's it.
Yeah, so I have to get out of my own way. And my ego doesn't like that because my ego is very much tied to a personality and identity.
I know,
and roles and
because
all that.
you're used to be that person that step into a room and everybody looks at him and everybody, you're somehow everywhere you go, within an hour you're like you're being mentioned. People talk about you on stage, like you used to be a star. So when it's an area where you're maybe not a star yet, that's where you have it's hard.
Yeah, but if you do this kind of meditation process, where Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about being nobody, in no time and no place,
thing, yes.
and no thing.
I cannot
right?
be a nobody.
I'm nobody. I'm no thing. I'm no place and no time.
I did have some experiences where I felt just like I felt the energetic part of me that is disconnected from this physical body. Yes.
So much more than the physical body. The physical body is just a vessel, a container of a much, much larger soul.
Mm-hmm.
And your personality is just part of the container, part of the vessel. It's not who you are in your essence.
What do you think about your personality creates your personal reality? That's what the Dr. Dispenza says a lot. Yes, no?
Well, if you want to be more limitless, then you need to be outside of your personality.
Yes, I get it.
So I try to, before I look at my vision board or vision list, I try to get
I have
in that
vision
space.
boards that are beautiful. You have
And I
vision lists
that's just handwritten scribble.
that are not beautiful, yet just as effective.
I don't know about that.
Yes, they are.
What I do to help make them effective is I get into that place of I'm one with God. There is no separation. It's all the separation that we're disconnected from the Creator and separate from each other as well. That's an illusion. So if I really feel it in my essence, I just get into that place of no time, no place, nobody, no body. and then I look at my vision list. That is a much more effective way to manifest these miracles. Because, for one, my ego is sidelined and not trying to get what it wants for selfish purposes. What in Kabbalah they say is desire for oneself alone.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm in a place of more place of service, not self-service.
Right.
And secondly, I feel one with the Creator, much more so than if I'm just in kind of my regular beta brainwave state.
Mm. Yes.
And then I'm looking at the vision list as with a sense of certainty and appreciation that's not about gimme, gimme, gimme. It's about how best can I serve? Oh, by having these things, by being these things, by having access to these, this is going to help me with my mission.
Right. I like that.
So, that's something that I find is a useful, I don't know, addition or adjunct to just the vision boarding process for me.
Right. Can you share with our listener a bit about some of the miracles that happened in your life?
Okay.
Let's talk about it. How did you manifest them, do you think? And can they happen without manifestation? That's a lot of questions in one. Go.
Well, miracles, I believe, are everywhere and everything. Like, everything's a blessing, everything's a miracle.
Mm-hmm.
Miracles are, this is something I learned in Kabbalah class, is that a miracle is not defined as the impossible becoming possible. It is the illusionary veils being removed that disguise the fact that everything is a blessing.
Okay.
So if I can see above the clouds, above the tree line, or whatever the analogy is, that I get to see more of the bigger picture, then I can see, like, oh, having this disease or having this ailment or whatever, it actually led or will lead to this amazing epiphany which changes my life, and I wouldn't change a thing once I am past it and able to connect the dots. You can only connect the dots backwards, not looking forwards.
Yes.
So then I'm like, okay, that makes total sense, that I just need to have that mindset and that bigger picture viewpoint.
Mm. So tell me about some miracles that are obvious.
Well, let's start with small ones. Yesterday, for example, we came across a homeless lady as we were getting off the off-ramp on the highway.
Right.
And just an hour or two earlier, I had recited a prayer, which you're supposed to recite on the first day of the month of Sivan?
Sivan.
Sivan, which is this month, and it was yesterday. And it's a prayer for your children.
So there is the Jewish calendar. We count the months differently. We have different names for the month. So in Israel, most of the everyday life is according to universal calendar. But the Jewish calendar is very special and spiritually very special. It goes with the cycle of the moon. So every time in a month on a Jewish calendar, the full moon is exactly in the middle of the month. So every 3 years, there is a pregnant year where you have 13 months. So it will always follow the lunar. It's a lunar calendar. And according to the moon and astrology and mysticism, there are different times where there is more energy, or it's good to ask for things or recite prayers. And yesterday was the month of Sivan, and there is a certain prayer for the children that you do, and you need to it's a recommendation, right? You don't need to. It's good to give charity.
Yeah. to somebody of merit. So not just anybody. So this homeless person did not, like, there was something about her that, and I know you don't judge a book by its cover, she could have been an angel. And I didn't feel...
It was a gut feeling, yes.
Yeah, my intuition told me she wasn't the one to give the money to. So you asked me, what do I feel? And I'm like, I feel conflicted.
Right. I mean, both of us, usually when we see a homeless person, it's my thing since I'm very young. My mom taught me that my mom gives money to everyone in need. She never discerned. Even when she does not have money or did not have money, she'll always put something. She always gives something. It's very embedded in the way I was raised. And I think for you, like, the more you got into mysticism and Judaism, you started to open up to that too. But then came the part of discerning, and I do agree with that, because sometimes I don't, like, if there's somebody that I feel is a little bit out of whack, or I'm scared to open my car window, I won't do it. But I give, but every once in a blue moon I won't open my car window or won't feel called to, and I just go with that.
Yeah, but I also wanted, so the lady passed by, I didn't open the window or anything, and then I was conflicted, we were talking about it, and then she was getting farther and farther away, and she wasn't looking back, so I'm like, okay, guess that one's out. And so then I asked the Creator for another opportunity, but somebody who would be of merit. So within minutes, I don't know, 10 minutes later, we're still on the drive home, and there she is. And I saw her first, but then I lost track of her because we couldn't really turn off at a convenient spot. So it was like 5 or 6 blocks later where I'm finally turning to get off this main road.
Yeah, and I was not feeling that well, and I was like, oh my God, Stephan, are you really gonna chase her? I want to go home.
We found her. You found her. You spotted her.
We found her. And you didn't see that, but the moment you gave her the money, I had this humongous smile on my face, and she was an older lady, and she had this beautiful smile on her face, and I got emotional that moment. And I was very proud of you too. And it just felt like even though I was kind of cranky, and it was cranky because I was very sick. Okay, so I was just like getting dizzy in the car. I couldn't drive anymore.
And hungry.
Yeah, all of it. I was very dizzy. But the moment I saw you give her the money, you didn't see me, but it was like I had a big smile, and she had a big smile. It was beautiful.
Yeah, and she wasn't on the street asking for money. She was just walking, and she was hunched over. She didn't have good posture, and she had this little kind of shopping basket thing. And so I just knew that she was the one that I was at. I asked for another opportunity, a more aligned opportunity.
How is that connect to miracles? How is charity or intuition? Well, how does that connect to miracle?
It was a miracle that manifested because if I hadn't asked, I have absolute confidence that that opportunity would not have shown up. I would have just gone home and not given any money to anybody.
But I also think that because of the times that we are now, it's like in the past you would have done something and get your karma in your next life or next couple of life. Now, karma is more instant. You do something and then the same day something happened to you. The time between cause and effect is shortening. So I feel like...
but I don't know if that's universal or not. That's been my experience.
I think it's universal.
Yeah?
It's universal, yes.
That's part of the veils thinning?
Yes, I think so. So things like that, and it doesn't matter if you do it because you want to get good karma or you do it because you do it from your heart. As long as you do a good deed, that's what matters. Just be a good person, do good things. It's important.
Yeah. So
and do it from the bottom of your heart. When you give, just give from the bottom of your heart. When you do something, do it. Finish it. Just do it.
do it 100%.
Yes,
right?
100%.
So with her, I didn't do it because that was part of the prayer because I wanted all these blessings for our children.
Mm-hmm.
I did it because I wanted to be the light. Yeah.
Yes.
And I think that intention matters. Like if you do it from a selfish place because you want to get something in return, you want to get some brownie points to be able to
It's important, and yet it's still good to do.
yeah, it's better than nothing, right? So if you're just going through the motions, doing your prayers, it's better than nothing, but it doesn't rise to the same level of higher dimensions as if you did it from a selfless place.
Mm-hmm.
That's at least what I learned from studying. I've been reading
Yeah.
Practical Tanya.
I think because of the way I grew up so poor and got a lot of hand-me-downs. And when you don't have much as a child and people give you something, you really learn to appreciate everything. I think also because of the way my father was, he kind of looked like a homeless person. It was never mind. But I think that's why I have this sensitivity for the poor or for people in need. I care about them as souls, and I have it's kind of a maternal instinct. When you give charity, it's not enough to give charity. Like look at the person's eyes, say, "Hey, how you doing today?" Exchange a smile, care for them, not from I'm better than you because I'm in a place to give. I'm just another loving soul that is here for you in this moment in time, and we're gonna have this beautiful exchange, and that's what's important. So when you give charity, care about that person, look in their eyes. It goes back to doing it 100%. It's not enough just like here, yeah, bye. It will be nice to take the extra second to share a smile or look in their eyes and make them feel important.
Yeah, and sometimes if you've tuned in to your intuition, if you listen to that still small voice, then you'll be guided on what the thing is that will mean the most for them. For some person, it might be to be asked what their name is.
Yeah.
And ideally, when you see that person again, to remember that person's name.
Right.
So there's Wayne, who we haven't seen in well over a year now. He would be at the parking lot of Whole Foods all the time. Haven't seen him for a very long time.
Yes, I hope.
But I asked him his name one time, and then I always greeted him by name after that.
Yes.
And I think that mattered. And there was a time where I didn't have cash on me, but I felt guided to go talk to him, and I'm like, do you want something from the store? I'll pick something up for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I did. I asked for like a tuna sandwich or something, and I brought that out with some water, and that felt like that was the right thing for that time. So I don't...
And sometimes we think we do this for them. Oh, we're so good. We give charity. We do that. Actually, sometimes you don't know. Like, sometimes when you give, you feel better. Sometimes that person is there to give you good karma. Like, everything that you think, nothing is what it seems like.
Yeah.
Goes back to the illusion. You never know if that person is actually an angel in disguise. And
sometimes you're told afterwards.
and they are there for you, and for your growth, and for your evolution, for your karma, for your heart.
For your test.
No, not test. No test. Bah, poo, no. No testing. Poo. I just don't like tests. No.
Yeah. Well, we learned from Janet Doman, who you have that great episode on childhood education and teaching babies.
Yes.
That you don't test your baby.
No, don't.
Yeah, that's and what color was that?
The whole system. Well, I still do that, but it's not like a test. It's a game. If you gamify everything and you make it fun, then it's good. But if you're like, was that blue? It wasn't blue. say blah, blah, and then, like it's the intention behind what you're saying. Yeah, I don't like tests. No.
Well, regardless of whether you see it as a
Can
test or an
I just want
opportunity.
to I want to say it again. I do not like tests. Please don't test me.
Okay. But I don't mind it as long as it's for my highest and best good and done in a way that is not a smack.
How can you take a person and take everything that they are and everything that they know and just limit it in this little test? I think our whole education system is not that great because people learn different ways and remember different ways and have different skills, but that's another topic.
Yeah. So anyways, back to this test.
Back to miracles.
Back to the test I was given. Where
Back to miracles.
Okay, it was a miraculous test. There was
Test, miracle.
There was an angel. I didn't know it at the time, but I was zipping past. You were in the car. I was in the car, so was our son. And so compelling to me to see. I saw this woman sitting at the bus bench, and she was going through her stuff. She wasn't asking for money or anything. She was embroiled with her own, meager possessions. And whizzing past, I'm like, I need to give her money. So I was going 35 miles an hour, I think, and I found a way to, turn and then come back around and park in a parking lot and go over to her and give her money. And
I just love seeing the smile on people's faces when they have so much gratitude because you made their day. And for you, it wasn't a big deal. Like, it's not a big deal for anyone to give a few dollars or $10 or $20. It won't change your life. But for somebody in need, for them, oh my God, that's such a big deal. And it doesn't matter if you give $1 or you give more. Like, just that act of giving is so important. It's so, people need to be, a lot of people are very lonely. Sometimes they just need to know that they are being cared for, even if it's a stranger.
Yeah. And when she smiled at me, she had one tooth. And I was just, and she was so grateful, and she had this joy about her.
Yes.
You remember what she looked like?
Yes.
Because you were watching it from the car. And
Yes.
I just.
It sounds like I'm only watching you giving money from the car. It's not like that. I do my own thing.
Yeah,
I
you
just
do.
don't talk about it a lot.
So that was a miracle, because I knew, I don't know how much later, if it was minutes later or hours later or a day later, but it was revealed to me she was an actual angel.
Oh, wow. You got that in a meditation?
Yeah.
That's awesome. So beyond charity and focusing on the miracles, is there anything else that you can recommend as far as manifestations and bringing what is... So I learned this concept that whatever you dreamed about or you desire to have is there in your mind because you have the capability to achieving it. You wouldn't have that desire or get that desire from God if you wouldn't be able to achieve it.
If you didn't have the fulfillment.
The fulfillment, yes. You just need to be aligned with the fulfillment. So how can one be aligned more with the fulfillment?
Right. So I think it's about trust and faith. So I see those as two separate things. I don't see them as interchangeable. So if you're in a place of trust in God and faith in God, then nothing's impossible. And when you believe it's impossible, you make it impossible. So you get back to that Henry Ford quote. So I would recommend being in a place of service and humility. Try and set your ego aside. This isn't about you looking good or not looking bad. This is about you serving.
Yes.
And then ask God for more faith and more trust.
Right? For more desire.
And more desire, yeah.
Yes. And another aspect, and Joe Dispenza talks about it a lot, is gratitude. Is you are grateful for the miracles that happened. But one of the things that are crucial to manifestation is you can be in gratitude for things that haven't happened yet. Because time is illusion and bendable and not exactly what it seems like. So when you're already in gratitude for things that happen, you attract them to you. Louise Hay, in her book, said a lot, say thank you for my healing. So you just be in gratitude for your healing. You're in gratitude for achieving that thing. You're in so much gratitude. You already see it as done, and you see it as done with so much certainty that you have gratitude, and you are so grateful, and you go into the vibration of gratitude, and the feeling, like what will it feel like when that thing happened? Who am I going to be? How am I going to react? What am I going to feel in my body? What you connect the joy and gratitude, and that will for sure bring that thing that you are desiring.
Yeah, so if you have the certainty, and I learned this in Kabbalah, and I know you know it too, that you're praying for more certainty because it doesn't exist in this physical plane, in the Malchut, this physical world. Certainty does not exist. It's in the upper worlds, and you're praying for it to be dropped down on you, like kind of like manna from heaven, because it's not part of this experience. To have certainty is not part of this experience. You're going to be gifted it. So I'm not trying to kind of power through this on my own volition. I'm trying to be a channel and a vessel, an instrument for the Creator, and ask for more certainty and for more desire for the things that are meant for me, and anything that is not divinely guided, I don't want the desires for those, and I pray for that too. Please remove those desires that are not divinely guided.
Right. And I love what you said, which reminds me when I was sitting by a waterfall after a whole day of feeling all emotional about writing my relationship vision, and I had this experience of laughing and crying and asking for God to help me with manifesting my true love. I actually said, God, I can't do it on my own anymore. Please help me. And I gave my pain, and I gave my suffering, and I gave the control from my limited physical me, tiny dot in this universe, to God. I took that weight off of my shoulders and I said, here, God, it's in your hand. Please help. I can't do it on my own anymore. I tried, I pushed, I pushed, I tried, I pushed. I can't. Here, this is yours, take it. And when I did that, my miracle happened. And within 48 hours, he showed up. And within 9 days, he proposed.
She's pointing to me.
Hey, my love.
If you're just listening, you're like, who's she referring to?
this beautiful man. And that happened from God, like directly from me being in surrender, saying like, I can't, I take it off of my shoulder and I'm giving it to you, and please help. Yeah. From a place of no ego, no body, no thing. I was nothing. It's just, it's for you, God, for you to help me with. And it happened, and it happened quickly. Like I said, instant karma. Within 48 hours, it happened. So that's a big part of it, where take the weight off of your shoulders and give it to the Creator, whatever you name it, whatever you call it. Maybe you don't call it God, but if you have a belief in you that somebody is breathing through you and making your heart beat and making the plants grow and is directing your life, if you believe in that power, then you give your prayers, your desires, your pain, your hurt, everything. You just give it to this power, and you come from a place of, I was a nobody, a no thing. I was in complete surrender, and then a miracle happened. And a miracle can happen to you today if you just desire so. So many miracles are coming your way. So many beautiful experiences are coming your way. There is a reason for you to be here and listening to this right now, because this is the message for you. You are a miracle. You are created as a miracle. And miracles is who you are. Just align with them and trust, and give it to the Creator, give it to God to create everything that you desire in your life.
From a place of service. Yeah. Beautiful. That's a great ending.
Yes, I guess so. Do you want to say something before we say goodbye?
No. That was the mic drop. So let's...
We used to have a company called Mic Drop.
Yeah. That's funny. So if you, listener, want to manifest some miracles with the assistance of Orion as your coach, she's an incredible, super gifted, miraculous coach.
Thank you.
Go to orionsmethod.com and sign up for a transformational coaching session, whatever.
Yeah, one of this. I need to revise my website.
Yeah, it's whatever that the
whatever
free coaching.
that contact me thing.
Yeah, it's the free initial session. So
Yes.
sign up for that, because.
And please sign up at least 2 weeks ahead of time, and just don't sign up for the next day, because that's hard.
Yeah, don't surprise her with and like no notice. All right, so this was really fun. And
That was awesome, babe. Thank you so much.
thank you, and
Yeah.
I'm so blessed to have you in my life, to have you as my soulmate, and for you to have chosen me, and that we chose each other before we even incarnated. I
Yes.
believe that with every fiber of my being.
Amen. Yes. Well, thank you. We love you. Thank you for listening, and I'll catch you on the next episode of Stellar Life Podcast. Bye for now.